If you're interested in airlines and the aviation industry, it's FAA reauthorization time. There's some interesting provisions in there, and I know there's always a tug and pull between how much regulation is enough, how much regulation should be. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts, all your thoughts on some of the provisions that are in there. They're talking about things including a minimum seat size, an aviation consumer advocate, more disclosure of fees that folks will pay as part of their ticket. And I'd be curious if you all feel this is something that moves the industry forward in making it more customer friendly and responsive, or if you have a different view. Paul, do you want to start?
Yes, I guess broadly speaking, we favor reasonable regulation coupled with more competition. After deregulation, it's been the mantra that competition will solve everything. Problem is, with mergers, we now have very little competition. Seats is a case in point. In every other area of transportation, seats are getting bigger. Only in airlines are they getting smaller. People are getting bigger. We now have 3/4 of the population of the United States it's rated as obese or overweight. And the 1/4 that are still considered normal are squeezed by the others. Now, we brought a case, had to go to the appeals court, and a year ago the court said, the FAA, you need to really look at regulating seat size. But so far we haven't heard anything. And as a result, the airlines are continuing to shrink seats, and there's really no limit because there is no regulation of any kind right now on seat size.
Well, there is regulation on seat size, obviously, for safety. So number one, the FAA has safety requirements in to ensure that people can safely evacuate the plane in the event of an incident. What you're referring to is should there be a comfort standard? Should they regulate how cushy the chairs are? One of the most popular questions I get is, why isn't there an airline that just has every seat like a first class seat? And the answer is, if that existed, there'd be an airline doing it. But the problem is, for virtually every customer right now, what they're looking for is cost. If you look at the airlines that have the most growth right now, the ones that are adding the most seats, it's Spirit. People don't pick Spirit because they think they're going to have a comfortable experience. People pick Spirit because what they care about, that particular segment of the population, they want the lowest price possible. And Spirit offers that. We have this new market. What's exciting is that if you are a family that cares about, you can pick what you want. You can get a product that, if you care about comfort, there's an airline product that offers that. If you want convenience, everyone's going to have the same level of safety. All of the industry remains safe, but you can pick you can pick and choose what's right for you. We haven't had that historically. It's one of the things that deregulation has done. To answer your question, one of the challenges that we have in the FAA bill is a provision that's, and it was mentioned in the last panel, it's called the Fair Fees Act, and it would allow the government to re-regulate the pricing of certain products that airlines offer. What's been great about deregulation is that you have a highly segmented structure now where different carriers offer a different experience in different products, and some charge for things and some don't. Passengers vote with their wallets every day. That's why there are more people. That's why we're at record levels flying right now. Removing that is going to completely upend that system.
Excuse me, but there is no regulation for seat size. And every year, the airline industry people have a convention or two where they come up with new seats, and they're always smaller. I don't know if you've seen this, but you go on our website, there's a new one called the Skyrider. Now, I'm not, a fan of it, but it involves sitting like this. You can get 3 times as many people in the same space with the Skyrider. Now, this is about, and the seat makers are selling it this way, this is not about consumer choice. This is about generating more revenue for airlines. The idea is if you squeeze people into torture class, then you can force them into buying more expensive seats. And we had some things like that on the Titanic. It didn't work out so well. But leaving that aside, we are getting now where some of the seating arrangements being proposed are without seats whatsoever. And all we're saying is we need to have some reasonable standard. He mentioned fees. Well, one of the problems with your regulation is that there is no definition of airline tickets. And so arguably you could have airfare for $1 and everything else could be extra. Spirit has over 70 optional fees. This is a exception or a loophole that you can drive a 747 through. And so what's happening is you get low fares advertised, but they don't include the full price of the ticket. And the purpose of that by the airlines is to make price shopping difficult to impossible, because the airlines hate price shopping.